Welcome to the Education Podcast. Today we have with us Mr. Brian Wallang, the Headmaster of KC Secondary School. He has been teaching for more than 40 years, 43 to be exact. That's astonishing. And he's also the working president of the All Meghalaya Karate Association. And then there are many achievements. He has been selected for Bolt National Teacher Award in 2007. And then he has been choir director for KC Lights, an international award-winning choir with 7 gold medals for India. And there are many things. I was just telling him that he should include in his resume so many things we have heard about him. So welcome, Brian, to this podcast. I have been to your school a couple of times, and I have seen the focus which has been on co-curricular and cultural activities and events. So how important is this for our children?
For me, I find it is really, really important because besides the basic thing that you get from being on stage, the confidence, the focus, I think knowing your roots is so important. And I think our young generation now, they've lost it totally. That's why this year for my musical, I purposely wrote a story on one of the folk tales here, and then we put it on stage. And now many children have learned a little bit more about who they are and where they come from, which I think is very important. Because that sets you apart from the rest of the world when you know who you are. And then you're confident about who you are once you leave Shillong and have to go outside.
Yeah. So I was there, and it was a wonderful performance.
Thank you, sir.
And the best thing which I was told, that each student is involved. Each and every student of the, they were involved.
Yes, I want that to happen because writing the script, I asked them to help me out with it. With regard to the sets, they help me with the sets, sound, lighting. We do everything because I think that's an important part of learning. Because if I alone had to do it, it wouldn't be the same. But with each one feeling the ownership, I think things work out much better that way when you include everybody in it, so they feel that they are owners of that, whatever we're putting up. So I think once you feel that ownership is really great, and that's why I think what's happening around in Shillong today, where the garbage is concerned, we don't feel ownership of that. And unless we feel that this is our town, this is our space, we need to keep it clean. I think things will happen better after that.
Okay, that's great. So we have heard so many things about your school. So I want to hear from you. How is your school different from other schools?
I wouldn't say, I don't know. For me, it's just a normal school, but then many people say it's different. Because I think I lay a lot of stress besides academics on trying to build up the child. I really want the child to be confident of who he is. Because I know at the end of the day, they have to face the world. They have to move out of school. And if I don't equip them with what they're really required to do outside, it's going to be, they're just going to know how to read and write, and that's it. So they have to be confident, they have to have empathy, they have to love Mother Nature, they have to be caring, they have to be honest and humble. So these are the things I try to. So through all the activities which I have in school, I think they learn a lot about that. And it's amazing to see them coming back after many years and saying that if it wasn't for this, and I'm of course very, very strict in school, like strict discipline. I'm very, for me discipline is very, very important. And they say it wasn't for KC and what we did then, they wouldn't be who they are. Just 2 weeks ago, one of my students who's studying in Assam right now, she had posted photographs on Instagram, so I asked her if she was in London on a holiday. She said no, she was there because her project, she did something on artificial intelligence and health. It was is internationally funded now, and she was giving a talk in Oxford University. Amazing. And she's just 19 years old.
Wow.
And then now she's still there. She's going to other colleges in London. And in school, she was just a mediocre student. She wasn't. So I cannot say that your marks that you get in school is going to define who you are.
Definitely.
It's who you are and how you work after that, which matters a lot. And I just feel the stress parents are putting on their kids right now with trying to get 90% and above that. It's very sad because not all are made for that. And that's what I'm trying to explain to our children. These activities that we have, because even we have cooking. I try to do everything, cooking, dancing, debating. So they may find their space, and from there they would know what they love, and so they might pursue that in the future. And I think that is so important today. And with the new education policy, when I read about it, I was really happy because then they're giving importance to those things too. So yeah.
Right. So you used the word confidence. I always tell students in my career counseling sessions, 3 C's are very important, and one of the C is confidence. So how do you bring that? You said, through all these
just
activities.
Putting a child on stage just helps them a great deal. Right now, my 3-year-old children also in nursery, they have no hesitation going on stage and speaking or doing whatever they have to do. And I think giving them that opportunity, because If you did not give it to them, they would still be at the side. They would never, because many of the children are scared to get out of the box which they made for themselves. They are very, very scared. But once you give them that confidence and say that you can, just go and try it out. If you don't succeed, it's fine. But just try it out. They realize. And there are many who have acted in the musical this year who've never ever acted before in their lives. Because of the lockdown, we had to stop doing all that. So, and they just love that whole process because they started mingling with children from other classes. They got to know about each other better. They knew more because I used to go home, ask them to go home and review and research about the Khasis and who we were. So they learned a lot through that process too. And that is why I think learning is not only through books, it's through all these other experiences that you have. Taking my choir out, again, they're learning economics because they're talking about currency exchange and stuff like that when you go abroad. They're learning geography, they're learning English. So it's not only the classroom which teaches you all that. I think it's more outside the classroom. Because I still remember R.G. Lingdo. He was very, very closely associated with KC. And he used to tell me, because once, it was a couple of years ago when our school was selected to represent the Northeast, they had the Mountain Children's Summit in Dehradun. So we had to go choose 2 Nagas, 2 Mizo. So we had to go there. And it was during our exams, and I asked him, what should I do? He said, what's more important? He said, exams they can do anytime, but he's saying this opportunity you're never going to get. So from that day, I always remember what he said. So till today, I just keep it the same. Because you come back so much, learning so much more. You know yourself better, and you've learned through other people. And I think that was the first time our children realized they didn't look Indian. Because when they went there, everyone asked them, all the other kids asking, which country are you from? So they came to me and asked me, so why are they asking us? Which don't they know we are from India? Then I said, no, see, now you realize that you are different. And then they started walking around saying, no, we're from Korea and China. They started pulling a fast one on everyone. Okay. But that was a very special moment again, when they realized. Because when we went to Colombo for the first time for the competition, that was 2017, there again at the airport, they all asked them, are you from Thailand? Are you from Indonesia? And again, they're looking at me and asking me why. So see, I'm saying, again, if they hadn't gone out, they wouldn't have realized that they were different. They looked different, like not what they would say Indian. Yeah.
Great. You also talked about bringing values like compassion and empathy.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Through action, like I say. So social work is a very important thing for me. So I take them out to the home for the aged. We take them out to meet the different orphanages that are around. Wow. And right now, at the end of the year, each child packs up a box, a Christmas present. I give them a list like stationery, food stuff. So right now I have the 400 plus boxes there. On the 24th, we go to all the different areas in Shillong, especially the outskirts, and we give it out to the young children.
Amazing.
So last year in Maukas Young, there was this huge group of kids already waiting for us to come, and I felt like Santa Claus out there. Yeah. So we go to Lumparing, the higher parts, which are really where you have a lot of poor families. Then we go to Lightcore. And then the rest we give it to schools which are outside Shillong, where the heads come and pick it up from me.
Wow.
And yeah, even about the environment, I take them for the river cleaning regularly. Whenever there's a cleanup, I just want my children to be a part of it because they have to know the value and how important water is to us. Yeah.
Great, that's great. So basically experiential learning.
That's the best way to learn. It's through experience.
Right.
And that's why I said, what you learn in the classroom is just like not even 20% of what life is all about at the end of the day. So I encourage my teachers, why don't you do everything? Like if you have videos, if you have activities with regard to the topic that you have, they can research and then they bring it into the classroom. It's so much more fun. And so many a time the teachers are having classroom outside, not inside the classroom, because you need space for your activities. So, and that's a great way to learn. Because we have children from Thailand, I'm saying, who come not knowing English at all, and see at the end of the year, all of them have passed. So,
okay, cool.
And right now, last year they had a reunion in Thailand.
Oh.
All my past pupils, there are 21 of them.
Okay.
And there are students who have finished their law, there are engineers there, we have doctors there. So, and it's all because of coming here and doing the basic, like till class 10. Some of them even did their BA in Shillong. They didn't go back.
Okay.
They just went for holidays.
That's great.
So learning through experience, I guess, is the best way they can learn.
Right. So in the last, I think, 8-9 years I've been here in Meghalaya, I've interacted with various principals, teachers and all. And what I have seen is wherever the head of the institution, principal, headmaster is active, there's a lot of difference in the way things happen. True. So I want you to talk about what is the role of the principal and what all can be done if we, through this office, and then what are the challenges you face as a principal?
I think basically a principal should be a guide. A principal should lead through example. I don't think as a principal sitting in an office can do anything much. And I think he should feel the pulse of the class. He should be in the classrooms visiting, knowing the children personally. I go to their homes.
Oh.
If they bunk class, I go home and pick them up and bring them to school. And so many of them, now there's very less children who don't come to class now.
Okay.
Even right now, we're having extra class. Yesterday, a kid was absent. I called his mom. I said, bring him immediately.
Okay.
So she brought him, and then, yeah.
Wow.
Because it's not because of any other reason. It's just parents are just, oh, you don't go to school, it's fine. It's not fine by me. And sadly, many parents have lost touch with reality, with where their kids are concerned. So I think the children talking to me and making me feel that I know so many things about them which parents don't really know. So at least I can be that connection between a parent and the child and make each other feel each other. Because I told the children, I'm saying what your parents are doing with you is because they're concerned. They're mad at you because they're concerned. They're strict with you because they're concerned. Not because of any other reason. Because sometimes they really feel their parents are saying the pressure's too much. And I think, what's this pressure you're talking about? Yeah. So I think the head of the school should be the one who is, very close with his students, his teachers. And once it becomes like a family, like my school, I always call it a family. It's not like school. So, and the parents are a very big part of it. So for everything that I do, I try to include them also, especially with decision making in school. And I've asked them also to give me 1 hour of their time every year to be in school, at least. Of course, very few do that, but I do have a big group of them who come, but it's like a very small percentage. And that's very sad. Even with functions in school, very few parents attend. And so when children, like the concert, when children are doing so well on stage because they're really good, they may not be good academically, and so that's the place for them to shine. And if your mom and dad are not there, and they come and tell me, many of them are in tears, especially seniors. Parents didn't come, other parents have come. Sports day, the same thing. I think for parents, many of them think it's just an activity, finished, that's it.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's more than that. That's their spot to shine. That's where they are. Like, that's something which they love. So let's support them and let them realize that we are there for them no matter what. And I know they know that I'm there for them.
Wow.
Because no matter what happens, I still love them. And I tell them always, I love you, but what you're doing, I don't like. So don't mix that up. Don't blackmail me and say, sir doesn't care. I said, I care, but I don't care for what you're doing. So even though I'm strict, but I think we still have a really good relationship with the children in school. So so much easier for me to do whatever I have to do.
That's amazing.
Even going for functions, I accompany them for anything that's there. I make sure that I'm there at least for a little while.
How do you find time for all this? There's so many students, right?
Yes, and plus I have a boarding too, so I'm like a father out there too.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so my day starts very early and it ends really, really late. But I'm really happy.
Yeah, amazing. What are your dynamics with your teachers, and like how do you motivate them? Because you have a vision, but to implement that, you alone cannot do it.
I'm
right?
so lucky that I'm saying I have already in the last 2 years, we have teachers who have finished their 25 years with me and they're still there.
Wow.
And this coming year, there's going to be 3 more. So I have 6 teachers who have been with me for more than 25 years. Wow. So that is a great asset for me because they're with me all day. We're like family. They know what my mom, how she started the school. They know what she wanted. So we can carry it on preparing the kids with the way she taught them, because she had a very unique way of teaching. And so the nursery was hers totally. It was her baby. My mom would never let anybody interfere. And she had her own way of doing things. So I just and so now we're trying to follow that. Even though she's not there, it's tough, but we're still trying to do that. But I think when you start involving teachers in everything that you do and making them feel part of what I'm planning to do, so I think it's much, much easier than to exclude them and just give orders. Because I always ask for ideas from them. When we have our meetings, which we have pretty regularly, every month we have teachers bringing in, we have a report where they have to submit their reports of the month. So there we can talk about classes, what's happening in the classroom, what we can do better, which children are doing well, which aren't doing so well. And so I'm so lucky that they stay back sometimes even till 4:30, just to have remedial class with the children, one-on-one classes. They do it on their own. I don't even have to tell them anymore. Because for me, I don't like tuition at all. I'd rather my teachers teach them, because I tell my teachers, if anyone's taking tuition means you're doing a bad job.
Yeah.
So you better make sure so. Even right now, we're having these classes which are really helping the children a great deal.
Okay.
Because I don't understand parents sending their kids for tuitions, paying 2,500 rupees. And when you raise the fees in school and they make a noise, I said it's better for them to learn. Yeah.
But what about the new teachers, who freshly joined? How do you guide them and mentor them?
Last year we had around 4 new teachers, but they just came in, they're on board, and now they're just like somebody who's been here a long time. And another advantage I have quite a few old students, ex-students of mine who are coming as teachers now.
Okay.
So they know the spirit, they know the feeling, so it's easier. But even the other teachers who come, like, it works. I don't know how, but then I think, because everyone helps each other, especially my coordinator and the officer who's helping me, the administration. He's also a very young boy, but he was in school. And I remember when he was in class 8, 9, 10, telling me, so I'm coming back to work in KC. And eventually, after his degree and everything, now he's come back. I mean, he is here with us, so yeah.
Amazing.
And I think he'll be one person who I think in the future who can take care of KC.
Oh, it's okay. We have a successor.
Yes.
So reading is declining
Yes.
greatly.
Yes.
So, I mean, how do you deal with it? How do you motivate students to read books other than
The funny thing is when you ask them about reading, they speak about comics, and I said, sorry, that's the idea of reading today. They think reading a comic and buying those books from St. Paul's, which are like just children's books, they think that's reading. But slowly and steadily, because I make them write a book report now every month.
Wow.
So they have to
All
read
of
a
them?
book. Everyone has to. But of course, I know some teachers, they don't have the time to be able to do that every month. But I'm making sure for the end of the year, they had to read a book each. So I think even if they've read 2 books this year, at least they've done it.
Wow.
So I've taken them to the trade fair right now because they have a big area selling books, interesting books there, novels now. So I took a batch of class 10s there the other day. My teachers bought heaps of books. So I'm encouraging even class libraries where each child has a book. And so those books can circulate in the classroom itself. So, yeah.
But there is an argument to that students are saying if now we have audio-visual material available on YouTube or any other, so then why should we read? Can't we just see the documentary?
But the thing is, once they read, they realize how different it is. But to get them to read is the tough part. So I started them reading by like smaller novels, smaller books, like the ones that you get, like about, not fairy tales exactly, but important, yeah. So once they start doing that, then even comics, they have no clue about comics. And I have a huge collection of Commando comics and Archie. So I lend it to them now in the boarding especially, so they sit down. They have no clue about that. And I'm saying those are the joys we had before. But I think with the phone coming in and technology, things have changed a lot.
Right.
But I think there are some things in the classroom which should never change. The blackboard should never be missing from there. Yeah. And I think even in class being like, for us earlier, the teacher did everything. He spoke and they listened. I think it should be more of an interaction right now, where you just put the topic to the kids and let them just have a discussion.
Great. There is something called, what we have is no retention policy till class, 8. So do you think
I feel sad about that actually, because for juniors it's fine, but I'm saying you're pushing a child up to class 8 and when he's at an age where he's embarrassed, he's at an age where everyone points a finger. So when you say you failed in class 8, what's going to happen to that child? So I think it's better for them if they're really weak, you can build, during these months before the school starts, help them out and then let them do an exam again. Because so far I'm saying I've never kept back anybody from doing their matric. Everyone's done their matric.
Okay.
Last year we had failures, but I don't mind. It doesn't mean the school is bad. I'm saying they fail because they really, but I gave them a chance. So at least they cannot say that we did not give them the chance. Even they say I'm sending everyone. It's very rare, I'm saying very, very rare that I keep back anyone. Because many of them who teachers have said are very weak, they've all passed their board exams.
But do you think we should do away with this no retention?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Actually, it depends on, because I think each school has a different way of doing things. For me, I know that I can help out my kids. Unless they're really, really, really weak, and there are some kids like who get below 10, then it's a difficult thing. Because we're just giving them hope of going to the next class, and then again they're doing the same thing. And then you have a retest, and then again they go to the next class. So I think for those kind of children, we need to help them out a little bit more. Because this year in class 9, we had one boy who was really very, very weak. And he's been pushed up from the class. Again, the same thing we've done. But he can't, and giving him hope to go to class 10, and he's going to fail his matric is going to be sad. And he's extremely weak. So I think one more year in the class is not going to do anything bad to him. It's going to help him to get a little stronger. And that's why I had an example of a boy from Thailand who went to class 10, but then not before the exam, sometime in June, July, he told me, "Sir, I don't think I'll manage. I won't do my matric this year. I'll just sit in the class, I'll be with the class, but then I think I'll do my exams next year." So he was a little more mature in the way he thought. So I was really happy about that. And when he did his finals the next year, he did extremely well.
Great.
Right now, he's an architect there in Thailand. And his first project was he built a home for one of a very poor family there with his own money. He got his friends and did it. So I said, at least what we taught him here, He's
Wow.
practicing there.
Amazing example.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about homeschooling. This is a new thing which is spreading very
Yes.
fast,
Yes.
especially in urban cities and all, and where more parents are believing that this is a better way of educating. What are your thoughts?
In a way, yeah, if parents have time, but at the same time, there's the social skills that they're missing at the end of the day. So putting them again at the end with lots of young people, they wouldn't really know how to interact. But some of them can, but I'm saying there are many who can't. Because I know many in Shillong also, they're being homeschooled. Some are super smart, because the environment at home is such, so they can grow. But I'm saying if you're thinking of somebody who doesn't have that time, who doesn't have the environment for a child to grow, I think it's a little bit more difficult for them. Because I think most of them are homeschooling and children who come from like well-to-do families who travel, who know about. Because if you see the global school that's there, I'm saying they have each semester they're in a different country. The whole school shifts to another country, and then they learn right from the forest. They learn from villages. They learn cooking and everything. That's also, I'm saying, that's a school, and they're learning a lot. So it's not really bad, but I'm saying it depends on the situation and the family, I guess.
Okay. So education, I mean, as we had talked about homeschooling, and so many other things are changing. So many ed tech is coming and all the content is available. So now students don't go to school for knowledge. They go for mentoring, they go for other things. So where is this going? What is the future of education?
Because sometimes they ask why textbooks, because I think now we can get everything on the phone. You just have to Google and get what you want. But I think there are certain things which, from the books, I'm saying, which when you underline, it makes you remember more, and yeah, you use different colors. For me, I use colors. So I use green, red, and blue when I teach. So yeah, so they know green is for this, red, and that really helps them to remember, so that the facts that they have to give at the end of the day, they will be able to do so. So I think textbooks are really important. Yeah, you can. I think the combination of both would be much better. Just not one. I think the combination of both.
Best of both for
the best of both. Because I think children today, they're on screen most of the time. And so when they sit in the class, it must be so boring for them. I can imagine if I was them. So I always think about that. So I talk to teachers about mind breaks. Like after 10 minutes, do an activity in class where like sit, stand, and do all these kind of fun games. So for 5 minutes and then again start your teaching. Yeah, so it helps a great deal.
That brings me to another question which we were just discussing before. Smartphone use. Should student be allowed to have a smartphone?
Not in school, no. I don't think.
Outside?
For me, no. For me, no. I think if it's a responsible child, yeah, I would know that. But I think there are many, I know many of my children, they don't know how to use the phone. In fact, actually, many phones are with me. I go to their homes and take it. So now they finish the exams, I've given it back.
No, but what's happening
is... The funny thing is they remember their phone more than anything else. As soon as the exams are over, they reminded me.
Yeah.
Because if they were monitored at home, I'd understand, but parents don't. And I know children are doing really crazy things with their phones, so it's terrible. It's scary, in fact. So I spoke about that during my parents' meeting this year. And those kids were sitting backstage and looking at me and laughing. So and I told parents, these guys are sitting here. See, they know they've done wrong, but they know that I don't judge them. Because I don't think we should be judging children. I think we should be guiding them. We should be helping them out.
Definitely.
But in Shillong, they judge too much. They judge at home. They judge by your family. They judge by society. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you do things. It's very sad. And that's why I feel that sense of frustration coming out from them because of that. They just can't be who they are. And I think at times we should understand that and just let them be a little bit. I mean, who hasn't rebelled when they're young? But as they grow older, they do fall back. They do realize that. So I think just showing them love and taking care of each one of them at home and knowing each one's differences. Like in class, we have a class of 35. Each one are individuals. We can't treat them the same. So for that, a teacher needs to get to know each one personally. So that's the most important part, I think. So if you care, children are, they will never let you down. They will never let you down. My kids have never let me down. They've made me proud all the time. If not today, but in the future. But I know they will, like, at the end, do their best that they can. Because the day before yesterday, he came to me, and one of the boys who was doing badly said, "So, but I promise you, during the finals, I'm going to do better." I said, see, at least they realize that. And if you show them the love in school, and if you guide them, protect them, they are amazing. And I know they're different. Parents have a different notion, but for me, no.
Amazing. You have 43 years of experience in teaching. Yes. So now I want you to share your wisdom with so many listeners, teachers, principals, especially in context of Meghalaya. There are many reports, you must have seen how we are
Yes.
doing in education.
Yes.
So taking that in the context, how can we improve together, and how can we, things be better in field of education in Meghalaya?
As I said just now, learning through doing is such an important way of learning. Just learning textbook knowledge and just feeding them knowledge. I mean, that you can just stay at home and do it. But when you give them that, give them the chance to learn through an experimental learning. Even I'm saying English, you can learn through doing so. Because for many of the times I've told my teachers their poems they've made into rap, their poems they made into movies, the prose pieces they've acted it out in short. And they've remembered, and they've learned the whole story actually in just a few minutes of acting and singing. So I think if all the teachers try to see what is it at that point of time which a child, which the class needs, and rearrange the way they do things. Because I think old teachers who have taught for many years, they don't want to change the system. They want to follow that. And I think that's not right. I think it's easier for us, but then I think it's not the outcome is not going to be the outcome that you want at the end of the day. Because I've taught from class 1 to 10, each time I was shuffled around when mom was there. So I've got a chance to teach all classes. And I've just seen them saying, if you're able to go help them out with whatever, they do really well. I mean, I never had failures when I was teaching in school, because I think this is the way you have to change your methods each time, depending on the class that you're teaching. You can't just have the same method every time and say, no, this is the way it's supposed to be done. I think if a child does it differently, why not? If he gets the same answer at the end of the day, the process, it may be different, but at the end, if you're getting the end result, it's fine. Because even maths you have many ways of working out a problem, but there are many teachers who say, no, you have to do what I'm teaching you have to do the same way. So many parents bring it and say, see, look, sir, why is it? And so that it's a fact. In the same way, I think with every other subject, there's so many ways of learning. So we have to sit down, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then change our method again. And that's what I advise my teachers all the time. Because it's not just okay to say, I finished my syllabus. How much have they learned from it? You have to find that out first. So the outcome is very, very important. And so if the outcome is not there, and that I think if you have as they say, what do you call it, at the end, a kind of a target each month, I think then it works better. So that at least you know that your target is that this is what I must meet up, then it's easier.
True. So thank you, Brian.
Thank
it has
you so
been
much.
a pleasure listening to your ideas. I hope everyone has, appreciated the kind of work they're doing at Casey's. Experiential learning is the word. We need to reinvent what we are teaching our children today, how we are teaching. Is it relevant? So all those questions, I'm sure, will come to you when you listen to Mr. Brian talk. We have all learned a lot, and I hope with that we'll take Meghalaya forward in terms of education. Thank you for watching. Kuble Shabun, Mithila.